What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? And happy Sunday. I hope everyone is having a great day, a beautiful day, and a blessed day as always. So, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. I hope you are getting ready for a wonderful week to come. So, let's go ahead and get into this message so that we can get right and stay right, as always. So, today my message is gonna come from something that I seen earlier on the TV. I don't know if it was a podcast or whatever it was. There were these people discussing relationships, and in part of it, like, I didn't watch the whole thing. I was just, in the room putting clothes on, and I wasn't something that I was into or was watching myself personally, but it was on. And what I did catch, right, what was in my ear was kind of like irritating, because what they were discussing was, you know, women nowadays versus women in the old days. Like, everything was like, oh, women nowadays don't do this. The women in the old days didn't do this. The women in these new days do this, and da 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 da. Like, it's I guess basically the overall thing was what goes on in relationships. And they were both sides were having their opinions about disrespect in the relationship. What does disrespect mean to them? And all of these things. But again, overall, it was irritating me. And it was irritating me because I feel like that is what's wrong with the people in this world. Like, everybody likes to compare. Compare. And we all know that comparison is the thief of all joy. Now, what gets me is like the comparison when it comes to people in relationships. Like, especially when it was the old days versus the new days. Like, listen, how can we really compare ourselves in such a way and say that because the women or the men in the old days did things a certain way, that we're supposed to follow suit and do things the same exact way? Like, it's because people aren't liking the results that they're getting from their relationship or from their spouse, or the reactions from whatever it is that they're doing. Like, everybody is in like this, constant comparison thing back and forth, and I see it all the time. And that's why it's so irritating for me, because one thing that I have recently began to understand is that everyone is an individual. For real, for real, for real. I mean, I've been understood this, but it's more so becoming more clearer to me again on my walk with God. Because on your walk with God, He will reveal to you who you are. He will reveal to you how you're supposed to act. He will reveal to you the things that you were supposed to do and how you were supposed to do them in every different area of your life, including in relationships. But it's only when you start to figure out who you are that you will begin to do the things the right way. And a part of that, and I guess I'm going to use relationships, then that's when you will be able to find relationships that are just perfect, relationships that are of peace and love and joy and happiness, and y'all as one for real. Instead of everyone wanting to be battling back and forth in their gender. Oh, men's supposed to do this, women's supposed to do this. And again, to me, that is irritating, because that's not what we are supposed to do. We are not supposed to boast back and forth about each individual gender on a regular basis. And that's what everybody does. Everything is gender based. Everything. When all in all, when you find the person who was meant for you, then it won't be none of that. It will be you two coming together as one and lifting each other and building each other up and doing everything in love. And when you don't have this type of stability, then it will be ultimate chaos in the relationship. It will be where one person may be satisfied, the other one may not be satisfied. So therefore, if one person isn't satisfied, then the whole relationship is not going to be where it is supposed to be, because there is no stable ground, no stable foundation. There is two people trying to have their own way. And when it's like this, your relationship is not going to be what it's supposed to be. You're not going to ultimately be with your person who you are supposed to be with forever. You're a forever person. And one thing I want to point out too is if the people, men and women in the old days, did everything right in their relationships, is if that is who we are supposed to be following, then why don't we have it all together? Why is each generation still not together when it comes to relationships? And again, think about that. It is because people are too busy doing what people are telling them they should do, what the world is telling them that they should do, what a relationship or a marriage is supposed to be like or supposed to look like, and what each individual is supposed to do. We are too busy trying to follow and keep up with what society and the world says it's supposed to look like, instead of what God is telling us that it is supposed to look like. So this is what everyone needs to take into consideration. And I promise you, I will bet my last dollar that you can find plenty of men and women in the older days who were in relationships or marriages, and who will tell you that they know they didn't do everything right, that they have regrets themselves, that they wish they would have did things differently in their own marriage or their own relationship. So we can't sit here and act like the women and the men in the old days did everything right, because they didn't. If this was the case, then most of us would be seeing relationships thrive versus many people getting divorces, rather than the divorce rates continuing to go up. This is because, again, too many people are following the way of the world and what society says, instead of finding out for themselves what it is that God says and what it is that God wants us to do and who it is that God wants us to be. Because once again, when you find out who it is that you are supposed to be and what it is that you are supposed to be doing in life, and the ways that you are supposed to have in life, and the path that you are supposed to be on in life, then you will see your person that you were supposed to be with in alignment with that as well. Because everything is going to fall into place once you are doing what it is that God says, not what it is that society says and the world says and the people of this world continue to say over and over and over and over and over again. So we have to stop trying to follow what it is that everyone else expects of you in a relationship, what everyone else says. And this is even for me. I have to stop expecting for people to be what it is that I want them to be. Because when people don't know who they are, they're not going to know how to treat you fully. They are still lost. They don't even know what it is or who it is that they are supposed to be. So when you have a full understanding that people don't know that, then you have to start letting people off the hook and just focusing on yourself, and then even just letting people go. Because that is the ultimate thing that we have to do when a relationship is not working, and you know it's not working, and you have all the evidence that points to it's not working. The easiest but hardest thing to do, the simplest thing I want to say to do, is to let it go. But that is the hardest thing to do, is to just let it go, because you try to spend so much time investing, trying to make something work, trying to force something to work. And anything that is real or genuine and pure, trust and believe me, baby, it is not going to be forced. There's going to be no force involved whatsoever in anything. So again, my message today is to, if you are seeking, right, to have a better relationship with a person, then you need to find out who you are. You need to find out who it is that you are supposed to be. You need to find out what it is that you are supposed to be doing, so that your relationship will align with what it is that God has said, instead of what it is that the people of this world are saying. So as always, I hope that you all have a great, a beautiful, and a blessed day. As always, I hope that this message has helped, reached, touched, inspired, motivated anyone who it reaches. And as always, let's be motivated, but most importantly, let's stay inspired.